Women, what are the biggest issues you face on dating apps? Recently, I, 26M, deleted all my dating apps and have been trying to meet people by just talking to them at random places, and it's going well. As a guy, the biggest issue that we often have to deal with is a lack of likes or matches, which creates this false image that we are somehow undesirable. This is heightened when we'll be having a normal conversation and we suddenly get ghosted.
This is a dating in general issue, but basically I have a high libido and want to have but it's also an emotional thing for me, so if do it I catch feelings quickly. And so many men aren't sure about you until they have with you. Many say they're looking for something serious, and then after having change that to feeling things out and going with the flow. And people say, just wait until you're sure they're serious, but what's the magic number? If you wait a month to have, assuming a date or two a week, that's too soon. 2 months is often too soon. 3 is too long, and no one wants to wait that long. I don't want to wait that hard. You basically have to rely on people's word when they say they're looking for a serious relationship, but so many are liars or don't want to put in the work. I've taken a break from dating because I can give myself an without the emotional let I didn't reply to those agreeing with me, but I've read all the comments, and while it's nice to not feel alone, I feel sorry for all of us. Tears of joy.
I'm a ginger and every opening message is about having a thing for redheads. I've always been curious to be with a ginger, etc. Fetishization is gross and hurtful. I'm not a curiosity, I'm a human being with emotions.
People being pushy, wanting to meet up immediately. I want to talk a bit first so I'm comfortable, pushing for phone calls on the first day, having the first sentences be, "Hi, how open are you?" Want to have a, and the best, worst one yet is having someone who you really vibe with for months finally revealing that he still wants to F around, but that he does have feelings for you.
Guys being creepy, overly, taking rejection badly.
Men not reading your profile at all. It's so prevalent. Guys lying about what they're looking for.
Being slow-faded and or led on. I was led on last year and it really... He seemed genuine and caring, and I was blindsided when I found out he had zero desire for us to be long-term and had an end date for our relationship in his mind. A few years ago I was slow-faded and it messed me up for months. People really need to be honest about their intentions. IMO.
Women get ghosted too. I know Reddit may make you think otherwise, but we do face issues. Biggest issues for me were, guys I'd matched with wouldn't initiate a convo, and if I did, they wouldn't respond. Pics and other unsolicited comments from the get-go, dry conversations where it feels like both sides don't want to be there. I've deleted all apps because it was frustrating as and for me isn't the way I was going to meet anyone. Luckily I did meet someone offline. Smiley face.
Being ghosted mostly. Sometimes one thinks they've had a genuine connection only to be ghosted. Person facepalming.
Guys stating they're looking for a relationship but wants to meet you at their place for a first date.
Most people lie and just want.
Lying about intentions and being overly.
Ghosting or harassment with almost no in-between.
Racist rants when I take long to reply. Just makes me realize I could date a guy and not know they are racist until I upset them. Horrible feeling.
Ghosting. One word, just putting in so much effort and getting below bare minimum. I'm done with dating apps for that reason.
I'm statistically more likely to experience some form of violence than fall in love or have good. On top of that, most guys don't ask questions or care about what you're interested in. More about what you can offer them. Also, they don't photograph themselves well.
Lying about intentions, usually to manipulate their way into being overly, general creepiness, racism, reacting to rejection with hostility, violence, the threat of being sexually assaulted, stalking, etc.
Married men, or at least they're in relationships apparently. I'm good enough to sleep with but not to have a relationship. I want marriage and sucks to be me, I guess.
The reoccurring issue I've run into is once it's talked about it seems to be the only topic men can build on. For me, this communicates that the main value they see is also reoccurring, the discussion of how single are they. I've had men argue with me that the stigma around being a single mom and sleeping around isn't a problem. I'm the single mom. They are sleeping around. Why would I participate and perpetuate that?
I'm going to preface this by saying that the following things in no way apply only to men, but here are my concerns. 1. Overtly opening messages. From straight-up propositions to messages filled with double entendres. I recently told a guy that I was exasperated by a covert opening line and why he couldn't bother with some basic courtesy. His responses in chronological orders were at least I didn't straight up ask you for which I'm sure many men do, so I am in fact displaying courtesy to B. I have sent this line to many women before you and nobody has clapped back. See, I wish the world gave more consideration to men's needs, hormones rather than turning conversations into what's appropriate and what's not. 2. The total and absolute lack of self-awareness and introspection. Men refuse to acknowledge any wrongdoing even when they are explicitly told that they have made me feel uncomfortable. The first line of defense is to gaslight and then blame the world for their. I have seen very few men, especially ones I have met off old, that ever introspect and accept responsibility for behavior. 3. Ghosting. 4. Emotional unavailability but being opaque about it. It's cool to not want an LTR, but be upfront about it. 5. Different standards for themselves and different for women. 6. Asking me what I bring to the table, like, this isn't an JNTER view. 7. Making vague references to wanting to hang out, but never making concrete plans. Like, pick a date and time and make plans. There are a million reservation apps available. Make a reservation. It's astonishing how many have such little respect for someone else's time. Honestly, a lot of those things that I encounter that are lacking, basic courtesy, respect of someone's time, transparency, are qualities I would expect any normal sane adult to possess. It does make me wonder how these men go about conducting their day-to-day non-romantic interactions.
I think ghosting is the biggest issue, especially when it comes from someone you thought you had a connection with or there were plans to meet, etc. I personally would love if more guys approached women offline. That would save everyone the hassle of dating.
Guys lying about who they are, lying about what they want, feigning interest in things they don't care about, lying about their life perspective.
I get ghosted constantly where I think the conversation is going well and then boom. I've had a lot of men get angry with me for not answering right away. I was out Friday night and at an event Saturday day, so I didn't check my Hinge messages until Sunday morning, and someone I was having a low-key conversation with got angry I took too long to respond. Normally I can agree, but I feel like weekends it's tough, especially when it's on the app and not an actual text, as I don't like opening it when out in public. My only last complaint, I had Bumble for a while. Getting matches was never my issue, but for every 10 messages I would send I would get maybe 1 to 2 replies and the others would time out. That was extremely frustrating.
I wouldn't say issue, but something I noticed. I filled out my profile fully with thoughtful answers and clear, accurate pictures. I have looking for a long-term relationship, and it's very clear that's what I'm looking for. I don't have any pictures or responses. Yet, I still get low-effort, low-quality men with one-word answers and all selfies, and half-assed profile. It's just a waste of time, and that's when I get so frustrated.
The fear of meeting a guy in public and then getting murdered, GBV, is a crisis, especially where I'm from.
I'm with you, sister. You said it perfectly, and no matter how much we go with the flow, feel it out, or wait 90 days, I sure as don't want to wait that long either. We ask the same questions, get the same answers, until after the deed is done and all of a sudden the answers change. It's so frustrating.
Why isn't this comment at the top smiling face with tear?
They can be looking for a serious relationship and find out not with you.
I mean, when a guy isn't good in bed, that tends to be taken as a perfectly legitimate reason to dump. We never stop and think, maybe the woman was a lazy lay? Or sprung some on him in bed he didn't like? Like, I had an Asian woman spring her raceplay kink on me out of the blue our second night. Doesn't he say something? For the same reason some women don't like telling men what the deal breaker was. The other person might get angry.
I also have a high libido and I find myself juggling men into categories. This one is just for sex, and this one I won't sleep with because I see potential. It's really hard and annoying because I would not be able to be in a relationship with someone I'm not sexually compatible with yet if I do sleep with them early on. One, I catch feelings too. It's such an easy way to get into a situationship and I always end up getting brutally hurt. Also, I don't want to divide men into categories just because of what they might think of me. I want to do what I want to do, but realistically it's not like that. And then guys criticize you for the simple fact you have needs and want a relationship at the same time, as if you have to become a saint just because you want marriage. It's exhausting and misogynist. I've also taken a break from dating for the exact reason.
Crazy how redhead women are treated as beautiful and ginger men are generally considered undesirable.
How to take rejection goodly. Asking for a friend.
Have you tried reaching out when you feel you're being slow-faded? If not, can you speak to why? Just to speak from the other side, I've never intentionally slow-faded anyone, but I have absolutely done it many times, not out of coldness but out of getting busy. Life gets busy. A week, then 2, then 3 pass by in a blur, and suddenly it feels weird to text her, especially because she hasn't texted me either in that time. I sort of assume maybe she wasn't that interested.